Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. Thanks again for watching. It's Thursday the 27th of June. Now, excuse this kind of mess, won't you, that's grown around my face here. The reason is out in Borth in West Wales next weekend. It's their 150th anniversary of the station and it's a Victorian weekend. And yours truly is dressing up as a Victorian, so I've got to grow a beard for it. But it all looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it? My children are just pulling it constantly. It really hurts. I don't know, those of you with beards out there, put up with it. Oh, it really does scratch and itch. Oh well, enough of that. Ladies, you wouldn't understand that, of course, but men, you all know what it's all about. Now, lots of talk on the website yesterday about the adverts and saying how annoying it is when I mentioned that the sites get free of charge by the adverts at the beginning and the end of the forecast. Now, I know that many of you are exercised by it, but some of you aren't. I mean, many of you write to me and say, look, don't take any notice. But look, the basic fact is that when adverts and the site aren't mentioned, revenue dips. But when it is, it rises. And the reason the site's here and is free of charge is because of the adverts that are around the screen. And when I don't mention it, we see a notable fall off in revenue. So the choices we have are, and it's something that I battle with every day, we either keep the site free of charge completely by using the adverts and you put up with mentions, or we have to charge a subscription fee for it. That's the stark choice. That's the reality of this situation. As we rapidly realise around the world and in every aspect of life, you get nothing for free in this life. And I'm afraid that free is just about as much as it can be here at WeatherWeb, but that means that we do have to put up with the mention of the advert. So I hope you'll put up with it. I'm sorry for those of you who it annoys, but I've got to be honest, I can't quite see what a problem is that being mentioned. But still, some do, some don't. Let's get on with the important stuff though and take a look at the weather. So, first of all, just wanted to take a look at the 10-day forecast of the mean of the 500 millibar flow from the ECMWF on the left here and from the GFS here on the right. So, ECMWF, look, has this area of above normal heights extending across the Atlantic during the period from next Thursday through to Sunday the 13th. You notice GFS makes less of it. It builds a stronger ridge, though, through Europe, but dips a trough into the Atlantic here. I think out of the two at the moment, I'm probably going in favour of the GFS. The ECMWF can't quite see how we're going to get to that pattern, given that we've got these deep upper lows there over the northwestern parts of Canada. You see, this low would, by its very nature, extend a trough southwards from it. So you would get that trough dipping into the Atlantic, which in turn would build the ridge through the UK, which builds the idea of high pressure tending to dominate at the end of next week. And if we look at the GFS ensemble forecast, you can see here how we see most of the rainfall look during this early part of the period here, but then look, we go to virtually nothing during the second half from around the 4th of July onwards. There's virtually no rain there. Temperatures as well are picking up all the time, look, becoming warm, and these building indications of quite a warm spell of weather coming through from the middle to the end part of next week as that anticyclone builds in. We could be looking at 3 or 4 days of dry weather. But before that, we've got some rain to contend with, an area of pretty heavy rain across northwestern areas just at the moment. This is slipping its way southeastwards. It's going to affect Glastonbury during the course of this afternoon. It may affect Wimbledon during this evening, although the rain at Wimbledon probably will only be light. And the reason is all tied in with this area of low pressure, which is going to be slipping its way slowly southeastwards through the afternoon, bringing those outbreaks of rain. And another area of rain here just over the eastern parts of the Midlands and East Anglia too. Most of that, though, generally quite light. Now, this is the chart for midday on Friday. Notice we're in a warm sector. That's the bit between the warm front and the cold front. So this here is the warm sector. That warm front actually becomes quite active and looks like it produces some pretty hefty rain for Northern Ireland, Scotland, and eventually down through North East England, through parts of the Eastern Midlands as well during the course of Friday afternoon. Some pretty hefty bursts of rain coming through there. However, drier air does follow in. We'll find low cloud breaking up through Wales, central and southern parts of England. Some sunny spells coming through, and where that does happen, it could become very, very warm. Quite a breezy day as well. I think we're looking at west to west northwesterly winds, probably blowing at around 15 to 20 miles an hour for most of us. Now for Saturday, this feature here, this warm front that you can see moving northeast, it's quite weak. It will bring some outbreaks of rain for western parts of Scotland. But elsewhere, as I say, a very weak feature, probably bringing some cloud and perhaps some spots of light rain and drizzle, particularly to western and southern coasts. I think, though, the cloud will break. Most places are going to be dry across England and Wales with some good sunny spells, and probably eastern Scotland is dry too, as is Eastern Ireland. Now, we know some of you, those of you watching, are planning on going sailing this weekend, so your winds basically are going to be westerlies in the south, probably blowing at around a force 3 or 4 on this. I think generally a west-southwesterly across the north and west, blowing at around a 4 or 5, or perhaps even up to a 6 across western parts of Scotland. Watch for some mist and fog patches, though, particularly in the south and west. On to Sunday, we'll find a trail of fronts lying across Scotland down through Ireland. I think, again, most of these generally quite weak, but there will be some rain to Northern Ireland and the west of Scotland. Could be some little bits of drizzle as well across northwestern parts of England, but I think for northeast England, eastern Scotland, much of the rest of England and Wales, it should be a bright day with some good sunny spells developing, although quite breezy. Pretty warm in the south at 26 degrees, cooler to the north at 15. These westerly winds blowing at around about a 15 to 20 mile an hour westerly across the south. That's up to around about a force of 5, but stronger across the north here westerly about 20 to 25 miles an hour, and that could take it up to a force 6. On to Monday now. This cold front is only a very weak affair as it moves south-eastwards. I think it might just bring a few showery outbursts of rain, but once it's cleared, I think it leaves us with a westerly flow. You notice high pressure still in control to the southwest there. That westerly flow brings 1 or 2 showers, particularly across Scotland and northern parts of Ireland, but elsewhere I think generally dry with some good spells of sunshine. The winds coming in from the west and blowing at around 12 to 15 miles per hour for most of us. Temperatures around 24 degrees in the south, could be up to 16 in the north. And then as we head on into Tuesday, well, this front is a weak affair again. Not sure exactly how far south rain will come with this feature, but it looks at the moment as if parts of Ireland, western parts of Scotland are likely to be affected by that rain during the course of Tuesday. It could be that we get some outbreaks of drizzle affecting western coasts and perhaps more persistent rain down in the southwest as well on Tuesday. This one's a very iffy one. I think more eastern areas tending just to become cloudier through the course of the day. Now, despite the mention of rain, there really isn't going to be that much of it around. This is the day 1 to 5 rainfall prediction, total rainfall prediction, ending at the end of Saturday. And you see here most of the rain affecting Scotland, look, parts of northwest England, values here of 20 to 30 millimetres, but that's over high ground. Generally, for most of us, we're looking around the 5 to 15 millimetre mark, and very little rain here, look, in the southwest. Now, from day 6 to 10 into next week, the focus for the rain is here over northern and western parts of Scotland, very little down towards the south and east. And then after that, day 11 to 12, which is the 5-day period ending on Tuesday the 11th, right at the end of Tuesday the 11th of July. Look, very, very little rain across most of England and Wales. It's showing 1 or 2 millimetres, just hinting at a little bit, but really I think essentially it's going to be dry here. More rain for northern western parts of Scotland, but only very little, around 5 millimetres. That's the way it'll hold through the day, and that's just because of fronts brushing by at times. And this is the reason for the rainfall amounts decreasing. This is the forecast chart for the 7th of July. So this is Friday the 7th of July. And look, huge ridge of high pressure built in from the Atlantic, indicating drier conditions for all of us. Now, how far north that ridge gets is open to question at the moment, but I think where it is now would leave northern Scotland still with some spots of rain, but for most of us it will become warmer, it will become drier too, and we're thinking about next Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday all potentially being drier and warmer days, but of course I'll keep you updated on that. So for now, thanks for watching and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.